Call to order. Stand for the pledge of allegiance, please.
Just give him a second, give him a second. Give veterans, take him a second.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. All right, start off signature folder. We had one timber cut at,
That's actually a yield tax.
oh, yield tax, excuse me. Map 419, 3 and 4. We had a couple of vouchers that we're submitting to the trustees to get some stuff paid for. One was for Edwards for the new pads at the transfer station. One was for the new floors here. We can eat off them.
I wouldn't.
We also have the auction service agreement from Sagers, New Hampshire Tax and Deed Property Auctions for December 13th.
13th.
And we had approved that a couple, 2-3 meetings ago, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so we already signed off on it, so we have a total of 21 properties that are going up for sale. Put it back on the tax roll. We got to select them. No. All right, so I make a motion to approve the manifest dated September 25th, 2025 in the amount of $98,945.17.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion to approve, no, excuse me.
That was a breakdown in case there was any,
Oh, yeah, I
any
was gonna,
discussion on them.
Right,
oh yeah, I was gonna say.
indeed.
Majority of that was 28,000 plus for KRT, one of the first payments. Make a motion to approve the manifest dated October 2nd, 2025 in the amount of $18,795.01.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the Board of Selectmen minutes dated September 16th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mail. From the mail standpoint, we had a thank you note from the Effingham Elementary School Community Open House that was last week, right?
Yep.
Yep,
The 17th. I think.
yep.
Never seen it.
So I guess they had a good showing, so it was good. We all attended. We also have
I think that's a request for the budget process.
which would have to go to the budget committee first. To,
It's a new one, so
yep, they still
some, they
have,
don't know the procedure yet, so.
yeah. I'm just looking at, well, it's called, Provision Food Pantry and Thrift Store. That's at the Indian Mountain.
No, that's, at the, Pine Hill Plaza across from Pizza Barn, it's formerly Agape.
Oh, okay. Alright, so they're looking for, assistant for a food pantry and thrift store, 501c3 nonprofit located in Ospey, New Hampshire. So they would have to contact the budget committee.
Yeah, they're new though, right?
Yes,
So that's going to the warrant.
Yeah,
correct.
right. So I'll talk to Kaylin about it.
Okay.
And we got another mail from, I don't really know what this
You
was.
don't, Green Mountain Trust,
Yes,
Caitlin's with that,
Yes.
it's the opposition of the cell tower.
yeah, it's just basically telling you all the issues with cell towers, as far as cancer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Structural risks. whatever.
Did a copy of that go to the planning board? I'm just curious.
Excuse me?
One did go to the planning board, sorry, Widow.
Gotcha. Thanks.
But,
Something just flashed on that computer over there, like a flash on like a camera.
Okay,
selectmen reports.
Oh, my goodness.
okay, so, we've had several meetings as usual, myself and my co-select people. We did go to the community open house, which was mentioned, was very successful. I thought it went very well, and it was really good to see so many parents come in and be involved, and so many other organizations. They were all present, which was very refreshing. Speaking of school, we as the board met with the superintendent and the member at large, Brody, right? And
Well, he's
Nate.
chairman of the board, and
Chairman.
with Nate.
Okay, and Nate, to discuss the tax,
Have a better
how
understanding.
how they come up with our tax number, to have a better understanding. So we did go there and meet with them. We did get a couple of answers. I wouldn't say that anything is really gonna change, in my opinion. I mean, the tax breakdown and the rate, the way it is for the school. I'm not talking about the town, school. Sitting on the planning board, they are working, and will be working on definitions, especially for short-term rentals, which they had requested the Board of Selectmen and Rebecca to become a little involved in as they redefine or define with all of the new legislation and everything else that has happened. That along with the class 6 roads and the building on it, so the planning board has been working pretty diligently on that. As far as the municipal building committee, we are meeting every Wednesday at 5:30 and have been. Excuse me. We will have another meeting tomorrow, at which time I'm hoping to I know definitely one group is coming in. We're hoping all 3 different type builders will be in with their reports and their estimates. We are progressing. We're also looking at tree removal in the back here for parking lot in both here and the fire station. So we're progressing along as we're looking. So Wednesdays, 5:30. It is open to the public. It has been and always was open to the public. You can also watch it live stream on YouTube or afterwards on YouTube. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Chris.
So we did attend the open house. I all too felt like that was, very well attended. There's another event coming up in the spring. It actually makes reference, I think, in that email, to the next event that's in the spring back at the school, kind of along the same lines. As far as the meeting went with the school board, our representative from the school board, Nate Williams, was there as well as the business administrator. And the whole meeting stemmed from, the board still feeling like we didn't get an explanation of the math that was, given to us almost a year ago. We did finally get, an answer to that question and a very good explanation. So when we got that, it was an estimation, they were estimates. And some of the estimation lines hadn't been changed, so that's why the math didn't work out. So when they-
Right here, we're looking at,
So it was early in the season, early in their year, because their fiscal year starts. Basically, they're going through the budget process right now. Well, we received that in the spring and it was based on estimations. And, Kathy, right?
Yes.
She tried to, explain that a long time ago, but something got lost in translation. Obviously, we had an election in the middle, mixed of that as well. And our school board reps changed, not to, point fingers at anybody, cause that's not the intention, but we did, the bottom line is, we did get an answer to that question. And the math does work itself out. And, I felt a lot better coming out of that meeting, than going in, for sure, so. Pine River Road is moved along quite nicely, the, stumps are all gone, the culvert is, been, finished. They're adding gravel to the road, as we talked about, the ditch work is drainage. It's not me, okay, I have that same ringtone, I thought that was me. The culvert's been cleaned out on the downhill side that would have been buried for many years. And they put some erosion stone in and some check dams to keep that, silty material from being carried down into the culverts. We got I did ask for invoices, an updated invoice, just to see, cause that's a lot of work that's being done, just to see where we're progressing and, you know, budgetary wise and how we're doing and knock on wood. I don't know if that's real wood or not, this is, the numbers are a lot lower than what I anticipated, there was a lot of work, to be done. The stumps, as I told you folks, a couple of the stumps had to be hauled off in a low bed trailer because they were too big to put in a truck. So they had to, maneuver them with the excavator onto a low bed trailer and haul them off, so just that alone, you start to see dollar signs and, but that's progressing. We did survive fairly well from the heavy rain. It was nice to see some rain. Again, I'd like to see days of steady rain and not a torrential downpour. The ground is so dry that does uproot trees and it does create washouts. We survived fairly well. I've checked every road in town, as did Kevin. Kevin did go out over the weekend and he did have to grade Pine River Road, touch it up. It was without sounding dramatic, it was almost impassable. It was pretty bad. That did not do well.
I drove up Clog Road today, it was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, he touched up Clough for a little over a week ago, so.
Yeah, it was in good shape.
Yeah, the roads are in decent shape. Obviously, before anything gets touched up, before winter season sets in and the frost, they'll need to be blown. That'll be an additional cost. You gotta get the pine needles and leaves off of before you, and get it out of the ditch line before you grade, so. We was getting pricing on stumps. We had 4 stumps that had to be removed. There was one on Pine River Road, 2 on Green Mountain Road, and 1 on Hobbs Road, to be removed and ground. That's down to 3. I put an X on the big stump on Pine River Road for the companies that were going around giving us bids. And Ron thought that meant, hey, you missed one, take this one out, so he took it out with the excavator. So, which works out okay, cause the stump's out, but the reason why I was gonna grind it as opposed to digging it out is it was sitting right against a cluster of 3 giant oak trees. So shortly after he took that stump out,
The oak trees fell over?
the oak trees fell over, so. So we'll have to discuss, what's gonna happen with the oak trees, they may be, I mean, they're well out of the right of way. They could possibly just be written off as it's a responsibility or the New Hampshire DOT, they own that property. So maybe their responsibility now, but, I mean, at some point in time, it will be good firewood for somebody, so. I'll have that conversation to see what, what we think we ought to do with them, and I'll let you guys know. And I did contact 3 people, the 3 vendors, that were giving us pricing on the stump grinding, to let them know that there was only 3 and not 4, so. And I believe that's all I have for now.
Thank you, Chris. Well, and same aspect of the other 2 selectmen, attended all the meetings, everything else, and they pretty much, I don't need to speak anymore about the meetings as far as.
No, we'll just talk for you.
Yeah,
That's fine.
exactly.
You did a good job, I'm good with it, so, move on. Town administrator report.
Well, majority has been fielding, the reevaluation calls, questions, concerns, all of that fun stuff regarding the recent letters that have been sent out by our contracted assessor KRT. Also into the school meeting and, other meetings, especially we had a work session last week to go over some of the Board of Selectmen budgets, the transfer station, all of those. I'm starting to work on some DRA forms to Department of Revenue that, also helps with setting up the tax rate, so the simple forms that are standard each year. I'll be starting to work on those. I did receive and respond to 2 right to know requests, both from the same person. And, we actually had a demo last week for Quadient and we're waiting to see what their prices come in. That's for the mail machine for another postage, so we're just waiting to see what an amount comes in for that one.
Okay. Good. Good?
I'm good.
Business, electricity, 171 Pine River. GT,
start that
so
one?
guys,
Sure.
we got a bill, good size bill.
So that bill is from the date we took over the property until current.
So it matches all the meters.
And it does match all the meters, that's why it was such a large bill, cause it's going back to the date we took.
So it's not for 1 month,
Correct.
What's the date we took over?
the 15th of
I
July.
used Caitlin's date,
Well, it was, the deed date was 7/22.
so that was the date I used as our official, it's our responsibility, so that's what these are all for, that's why they're so large.
So almost 3 months.
I did go there today and I matched up the meter numbers with the account numbers and all that good stuff, figured out what's what. There are 3 streetlights that they were paying for. I know for a fact that at least 2 of them don't work, but yet show an electricity usage. So I have some questions in on that and why we were billed if the lights don't light up, they shouldn't be using any power, right?
So I do know that, driving by there in the middle of the night several different times, mostly during the winter time, that's the way I travel to work. So those 2 sodium lights, one in front of the ranch that sits by itself.
Yep.
And the one in the main parking lot, those have photo eyes on them, that once your headlights hit them, when you're driving by, they shut off.
We were at that building doing fire training in the dark a couple weeks ago and that light did
Never
not
came
come on
on?
even in the pitch black.
Okay, cause
And then
it has
there's-
been on,
There's also one down at the old mobile home.
yep,
And I've never observed that one on either. And I don't recall if the one at the main building next to the garage functions or not.
it's at, well, yeah, it's
I'm
on,
planning to
it's on
drive
the
by
pole
there.
right next to the road and it faces.
Yeah,
I believe, like I told you, I think earlier, I believe they're all still on.
so I'm gonna go tonight after dark and verify what's on and what's not. And if they're not on,
You turned all the breakers off, right?
all the breakers in the main building are shut off with the exception of the water pump. And then the 4-unit building next door has the power on, but everything's shut off in the units that are not being used. There is a meter for the old mobile home that still has an active electrical service to that beat up mobile home.
So it's like 20-30 bucks a month.
And there's a service to the 4-unit building as well, obviously. So I just submitted the request to have the 4-unit building, the ranch, if you will, disconnected completely, the meter removed and the cabling removed,
Okay,
as well as the street light. The meter, cabling and street light removed from the old mobile home, and then the street light removed from the main building.
agree.
So that'll get rid of everything except for the main building and the other unit building in the main parking lot there. So that should cover that.
And may,
Please.
just to add, that bill goes from that first date, the July 22nd, until September 19th.
Which is
So,
almost 3
It's
months.
2 months.
2 months?
Yeah. I heard you say 3, so I just wanted to make sure it was known it was the 3, or 2.
Okay, you're right.
And obviously at the beginning of that, the place was fully occupied. So obviously there was quite a bit of electrical usage. You can on the bill, if you look at the kilowatt hour usage, you can see it plummet. So that's
Yeah, so
A
for
good
the
sign.
first 2 or 3 weeks, there was full,
right.
Right.
full bore the way it was before.
So why we're questioning this is we received a bill of 2,000 bucks. So, it's like, no. Got it. Oh, sorry.
If you just take your meds, that wouldn't keep going on.
And the reason though this was disconnected sooner, this is the first bill we got, we needed to get a bill so that we had the meter numbers and all that stuff and access to the account to cancel it. So we had to wait for them before we could cancel it, so.
What a racket.
So, this bill, basically, we can attach it to the auction, right?
Any expenses,
Expenses and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So we'll get paid back on this,
Good.
right?
so now that the discussion's had, board's all in agreement to move forward now that we have all the questions.
As far as paying the bill,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
okay. Thank you.
I mean, we cannot pay the bill and they just shut it off, right?
I don't have a problem with that either.
Hey, really, it's true.
You got 10 minutes before your first deployment, can I throw a couple things at you?
Sure, throw it.
Go ahead,
If you wanna pass that down to Chris,
Chris.
we've had all kinds of equipment on our wish list for the federal program where we get all the free stuff. Some of that equipment has been things like loaders and whatnot that could potentially be used by the future highway department or whatever for town business. We've been awarded a very large loader from Virginia. So we can accept or decline the request. The only expense to the town would be the transport to get it back up here.
It's military,
It's a military unit, yep.
yeah.
It's been confirmed in good running condition with no known issues.
What is it? What kind? Machine? What kind of machine is it?
I thought it was in Michigan, but I don't know yet, I'm still trying to find that.
Yeah, let's see. We can have discussion on it.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it does have issues. Right on the front, it says, the cylinders need to be repacked and the main hydraulic line needs to be replaced, and it runs well.
So there were two of them that were, hold on a second. There were two of them he sent together and one of them needed a bunch of stuff, the other one was good to go. So that might be the printout for the other one. Just verify what he said.
Free?
It's free other than getting it here.
We just have to pay
I
for
can use it on my
transport.
my property.
I don't think that's how it works, you know? Be a good test of the brakes.
He does say it's about $1,000 worth of work to have it fully operational. Otherwise, it's in good running condition.
Right, we discuss. What else you
I
got?
have this is an agreement, I believe we've talked about it at a meeting, but we were awarded a 2007 Yamaha Rhino side-by-side UTV. From that same program, it was free of the town. We did pay one of our members to drive to Bangor to pick it up and haul it back, that was our only expense to get it here. So this is the federal agreement, just saying they gave it to us, it needs the signature of all the selectmen as well as a witness for each.
How's it running?
Really good, really good.
You used it?
We haven't used it yet, no, we just finished up all the PMs and getting it all tightened up.
We do need a trailer.
We do need a trailer for it, yes.
One of the members is currently loaning a trailer for use, if we need it.
We're also on the lookout for a boat trailer for our inflatable Zodiac as well, so something about 16 feet. So anybody knows of anything? Willing to do some welding and cleanup work if need be. You should be.
What else?
This one might take a few more minutes, but I'll pass this down to you. This is a memorandum of agreement between the town and Action Ambulance. One of the things that came out of our last ambulance meeting, and it's something we've been talking about quite a bit, is the lack of staffing that the ambulance service has experienced. And one of the pieces that was brought up was that every time they're short-staffed, it's a drain on the town to have to provide either our ambulance to do a transport, or if we're giving them someone to drive, whatever the case, it's a tax on our system. We're paying those people to be in town, and we're now having to send them away because of the inadequacy of the ambulance service. The owner of Action developed this memorandum. Basically, it's saying that anytime we provide Action Ambulance with a driver, so we give them someone to drive their ambulance to the hospital, they'll reimburse us $250 per occurrence. And if we provide our ambulance fully staffed for a call, not even if we transport, just if we provide the ambulance because they can't, it'll be $500 per call that they'll reimburse the town.
So let me ask you, I don't know where, sometimes they charge you what, $6,000 for transporting a patient. And you're only gonna get paid $500?
Uh,
Go ahead.
Like he just said, $500 to provide the ambulance, but if we transport, then we bill the
We bill
patient.
Correct, we
Oh,
get
is
the
that the
billing
way?
revenue if we
Okay.
transport, yes.
I didn't get that.
So we'll get the potential billing revenue and $500 from the
$500.
ambulance service.
So, I'm good with that. So you gotta submit the invoices.
Yep, so we'll develop an invoice for any time this occurs. He put an effective date of August 1st on this. I'm not changing that, so I'm gonna consider it backdated, which gives us 2 or 3 occurrences that we can send them a bill for as long as there's no issue raised with the predating.
Legal before we sign it.
If we do, it'll need to go to the actual town attorney. And HMA won't.
Yeah, I know.
You agree? You think we should?
See what they say, see what
Just
legal
that,
says.
I mean, cause we do have,
Liabilities,
well, yeah, that, and I don't know about the contract, you know, what that's gonna do to the contract, and, obviously, we're one of.
6.
Six,
One
yeah.
of 6.
So this option was opened to all the other towns. It was primarily, this agreement was primarily drafted for Effingham and Center Ospey because we're the 2 departments with transporting ambulances that are frequently covering the calls. But the owner of the company did make it clear that any of the other 6 towns are open to this as well. If they want their reimbursement, they're more than welcome to get it, so.
Caitlin, any suggestions?
I mean, I think it's, especially with the use of all
I
the,
didn't give you one.
that's okay. Especially with the use and, you know, the situations that I've heard have been going on, it's not a bad idea. But I do agree with Chris, definitely we should have legal look into it, make sure there's nothing that the town would be liable for. In any situation, including contract or this. And if, you know, legal thinks that this is exceptional, then
Yeah,
Right,
Obviously, the idea behind it, sorry, the idea behind it and the concept is fantastic, you know, I'm on board, I just.
No,
see
I
what-
totally understand. So, I can send it off to Matt and
yes,
let him
please.
review it, okay,
Yeah,
excellent.
Thank you.
Just let Primex know after it's done everything.
yeah, Primex also.
Absolutely. That's it,
That's it?
thank you.
okay,
Alright, we'll start off with budget presentations. 4191-01, planning board.
George isn't here yet. I don't know. Creative.
Let's go with the zoning board.
Hey, you want me to go line by line, or you just want the increase?
And let me get to your,
Well, you're already starting off wrong, you said increase,
Everything increases.
not everything,
so what's your total?
The total is $2,292.
Huh? I like that number
in comparison to the other, yeah.
versus 4,381 last year.
And that's a decrease of $2,089.
he said increase first off.
I did.
You wanted to make sure you were listening.
Wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Oh, you got rid of professional services?
I was just gonna ask about
No,
that, would you
professional
wanna at least
services
keep a
had-
dollar in there to keep
It
the
should
line
be a
open?
dollar.
Yeah, it should be.
Why do we
There
have to
should
do
be a
this
one.
mysterious dollar?
Alright,
keep
that'll
that
make it
line open.
93 then.
I know.
And then there's a dollar also for the clerk's salary. Keeping that line open.
There is already in.
There is already a dollar there,
So now-
Yeah, I
that's
know, I'm
mileage,
just saying, we're keeping that open. Okay,
so it's gonna be $3.
So Nate's no longer with us.
Well, he's no longer working, don't say he's no longer with us, that makes it sound like he's deceased.
He's not with us. I'll put it that way. Now, he resigned last month. He said too much other stuff to him, and he didn't feel he could, do it without doing it right. So he,
So you have no intentions on refilling that role, or
well,
refilling that role, it's not.
even if we fill that role, we still have money enough in there.
Alright, so it's a reduction of $2,088 from, 2025.
So you have 2,293?
Mm-hmm.
2293, yeah.
Need a motion on this?
I don't know.
Yes, you'd have to make a motion.
Make a motion to approve,
Support the budget?
support, zoning board 4191-02 for 2026 request of $2,293.
A second,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
discussion,
Discussions?
yes,
Go ahead.
I don't have any discussion, I just like to, Deidre, I'd like to open up just in case anybody else does, that's all. Aye,
It's a discount.
I like discounts.
Leo, before we move forward, can I ask, the budget chair a question?
Please.
Mr. Budget Chair, how would you, so in the past, it used to be like an initial from the chair on the budget sheets once a board approves. Would you like to stay with that process?
So in other words, do you need a budget sheet? Copy of the signed copy?
A signed copy.
Oh,
I know past the board like that, I didn't know if you wanted to continue with that tradition? Okay, then I'll get that all to you.
So,
So after we vote, Leo would initial one, that becomes like the official one for the board, and hands that on to the budget committee chairman.
alright, thank you.
well, yeah, I'll make
I'll
copies
take a
first.
copy of them after, Leo.
Yeah, appreciate that,
Do you want me to text Rebecca to have come in?
if you please. In the intern, you wanna do the historical district?
Susan's not here yet either, I know she's coming.
Wanna do the town forester?
he's not here either.
Why, you don't, we don't,
I
he
know,
never
I
shows
know,
up.
he never
I
shows
don't think he's coming.
No.
Maybe a standard now.
Yeah. I make a motion to accept the, town forester's budget as presented, the, flat rate of the, standing $1,000.
I'll second,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye. Discussions? No.
Aye.
Rebecca should be coming in, she might come through that back door, Chris, so we can hear that.
Just kidding, just kidding.
Thank you, I'm sorry, I thought I had it all.
So we're waiting for a zoning officer. So with the new budgets, we have all new,
Account numbers.
account numbers, which are, wanna go ahead and explain that?
Yeah, so,
okay.
with the
you.
switchover that's going to be happening to G-Works, the Department of Revenue has chart of account standards that we haven't really, the town has not really followed. So with the switchover, we're trying to be in compliance with the Department of Revenue with their chart of accounts, so that's why you're gonna see a lot of similar but different. So for example, the 4191 with the dashes, you'll see some new changes, but it's all to be in compliance with the Department of Revenue.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yes,
You're up on
okay,
a hot seat.
yeah, doesn't feel very warm to me.
So 4191-03 zoning officer.
Yeah, so I think you've got it in front of you, and I have notes on the back. I increased the telephone budget based on the 2024 actual. I actually didn't go back and run the numbers out for 2025 out the rest of the year, but I figure we're close enough, there's a little flexibility there. And the only other different line besides lines that were eliminated, is the salary line. So the change there is that for 2024, we still had the assistant, so the assessing clerk was still assisting me as a zoning officer in 2024. He was doing the field work. So we had to do a correction of showing that he'd worked half a year. When we had budgeted 2025, we budgeted more hours for me to make up for those hours that were lost. We don't actually need that many hours. So the line is basically down. The salary line is down from the 2025 budget. My salary line looks up from 2024, but that's because there was a field assistant line added to it. So that's basically the difference. The field work was separated out in 2024 between my salary and Dave's fieldwork salary. And otherwise, the mileage seems to be holding pretty steady, so that's just site work, site visits.
Okay, so I got a question on
Sure.
03-06 salary zoning officer. You're requesting 16,956
Yeah,
and 50 cents. Last year you had this year, $18,152.
yeah.
So far, you only used $8,515 this year.
Right, part of the reason for that is that, I took a bunch of weeks off in the spring when I had my knee replacement.
Well, 6 weeks,
No, I took 6 weeks off.
but you did work part-time.
I did, but there were 2 weeks when I didn't work at all, there were like 4 or 5 weeks when I only worked 3 hours a week. So, I didn't run those out, I just assumed that I would be back up to the level of hours. Now, maybe not. One of the things is if you go back and look at the record of my work over the last however many years, heading on 20 now, is there actually are a lot of hours that are put in the last 3 months of the year. Either
Jesus. Shut up.
all the stuff you have to catch up on and try and get done in that year. So I expect that my weekly hours will go up for the rest of the year and compensate for some, but I've been working about 9 hours a week, most of the summer. And I'll probably get back up to 11 or even 12 for some of those weeks in order to get everything done that needs to be done. I may not need all those hours, in which case it will go back to the town. But it's better to have it in there. And it is fewer hours than I was budgeted for this year. But, and I haven't met them all, but it's fewer hours than. Let me go back and look at in my records. Well, I don't have them all here. Somewhere, post-COVID, my hours went up. I've been pretty steady at.
Yeah, well, let's stay with here.
Yeah, so we bounced back and forth between 10, 11, and 12 hours a week. And I put in at 11 hours a week. Now, it's possible that for the coming year, we'll actually only need 10, but I put in for 11 because that seemed like a safer.
So 11 hours at 52 weeks comes up to.
50 weeks, 50
50
weeks, cause I always knock out a couple of weeks, given that I usually
500,
take a break in January.
And that comes up
things
to,
500.
Yeah,
16,900.
I did, What, you wanna look at my numbers? I ran them all there. Um,
Okay, alright. Any other questions?
No.
Make a motion, we accept 4191-03 zoning officer for 2026 budget of $18,726.50. That's a reduction of $1,095.50 from last year.
Second,
Any discussions?
none
None
from me,
All in favor?
thank you,
Aye,
Aye.
aye,
that
thank
it?
you.
I'm done.
that's it.
Thank you very much. I gotta go. I gotta put my name down box.
George, you're late.
I know, I'm sorry.
You're not gonna get your budget reduction here.
You can strike it from my pay. You can dock it.
Alright, George, you're up.
Alright, my turn to not see. Alright. So do you want me to go through it or do you wanna go through it?
Just hit the highlights.
So some of these kind of expenses are not expenses that we incur, like the town gets reimbursed for them, so like for the advertising, the town gets reimbursed for that with when the applicants do the application, but we still have to have that as a line. So again, it's, our actual was 110. We budget 750 just in case if there's anything that involves a lot of mailings or we have a particularly busy year. But that line generally becomes a wash anyhow for the town. The books and publications, it's 350, we're at about 300. We're putting $1 for computer services just in case going forward something comes up. It's just a place marker for the line item. We don't anticipate any computer services. The dues for this year, we checked, are 1778. So that's the actual amount that we're gonna be charged on the dues.
And just real quick, just ask, so obviously one of the dues they increased, so I'm just curious which one.
It's the LRPC,
Okay.
so that's just LRPC, those are the only dues we pay.
Okay.
I believe the town pays the municipal, the New Hampshire municipal, so we don't pay that, it's just LRPC. The mileage, 750, again, it's gonna be more than the 2024 actual, but it probably won't be up to the budget. But we were driving back and forth to Concord for the,
Meeting.
yes, but, and that may still continue, we don't know.
I thought the ombudsman went away because the state didn't fund it.
No, actually, the ombudsman has been relegated to a person who's working for the state already, and if they choose to go back to the ombudsman, then there could still be hearings. So again, we're just leaving that, hopefully we'll be well under budget on that, but that's just kind of saving that. Same thing with office supplies, if we have to, in the future, maybe pay for supplies that we use or reimburse the town or something, we just left that as $1 as a line, but we don't anticipate any office supplies. Postage is the same thing. We get reimbursed for postage by the applicant, but it has to be covered
Up front.
upfront, so that's why it's there. Professional services, so that's a big one, but for example, we're probably gonna come close to that for this year, and again, will most likely be reimbursed by the applicant, but it's the same type of thing. It's a line item that if we're gonna be charging the applicant, close to that number, right?
Okay, I wanna jump in on that one. Professional services, we have $5,000. You haven't used any money this year yet. So you made the statement that,
We will, the year's not over.
so you have anticipation that
Yes.
somebody's gonna be.
Yes,
Exits next month.
Yes,
excuse me?
Ask us next month.
yes. So, and so the whole thing is we should get reimbursed by the applicant for that, but it's.
So we'll get reimbursed, but.
Yes, but it's, so it's kind of the same idea as the advertising and the postage.
So what usually is the cost for something like that?
So this is what's really challenging, right? Like, it's really hard to do year from year, because if we
I'm
have,
just talking one example of that person that you're
Like,
gonna have
it's-
next month.
It depends on the service too.
yeah,
it could
so
be
in this case,
engineering,
yeah, you know, and we may actually need, the other thing that this gives us a little bit of flexibility with as a town is if we have to get like legal advice on a specific issue, that could also partially come out of this budget as an example. We haven't had that, but again, there may be some situations where we can't bill the applicant everything because it's something the town is expected to know. In which case, we might have to hire a surveyor or a wetland specialist or something like that in the future. So we need a line item for that.
Okay, I'll let you finish off your stuff and now I have my questions. then.
Yeah, and then the recording fees, again, we haven't really had anything, it's just $1 to keep it open. The salary of the secretary for 10,000, so the 2024 actual, she came in towards the end of the year, so that reflects partially what.
Well, right now we have a budget of $8,500 and $4,136 has been used.
So what, we're basing it on how much she's being paid an hour by the amount of work she's doing. Again, it's.
Are you raising her pay?
No, we're not raising her pay. The reason it's gone up is because we're anticipating her workload is gonna increase for doing all the paperwork of moving all the filing. So there's a lot, it's not that she's being paid more, it's that she's probably gonna be doing, we're anticipating she's gonna have to do more work.
If that,
More hours.
if it's approved.
Yes, if it's approved. If it's not approved, then I don't know what we're gonna do with the paperwork that we're legally obligated to keep. I mean, that's our challenge.
No, if the project is approved as well.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, yeah, and if it's not, then it won't be that high, right? If it's not, like I said, it's not a pay increase, it's an anticipation of more hours. Although having said that, regardless if it's approved or not, that is something that should be done, because especially if.
You need to purge.
Yes, and not only that, the way the paperwork is done now, Barbara, I forgot her last name.
Savage.
Yeah, so Barbara Savage started doing this and she did an excellent job, and the town paid Barbara more money to do it. The original filing was done under the name of the person who owned the property at the time. So this goes back to the 70s, so you have to figure out who owned it. Whereas what Barbara was doing was map and lot number.
And combine everything.
Yes, and she got about halfway done with that.
Mhm.
So the whole idea is that Maureen is gonna take up where Barbara left off and just get everybody into lot and map. And then if it's gonna get digitized and things like that, it's gonna make it a lot easier.
I agree. Go ahead.
So just for clarity, leaving actual of 24 out when
Yeah.
this position wasn't filled, at what point in time in 2025 was the position filled?
It was filled in September of this,
Yeah,
of
it's
last
been, it
year,
was almost a year.
so a full year this last year.
Okay, so it
So
has been a
all-
full year, so-
9 months here
Couple
this year,
months,
right, okay.
Yeah,
and I appreciate and I appreciate, number one, the forethought of the extra hours that it's gonna take in the event that the project moves
Right.
forward. I do, however, am curious about, I mean, only half of the money has been spent this year out of that line. And we're more than well beyond halfway through the year. We only have a quarter of the year left. I'm curious why within that hourly, the amount of hours that are budgeted, that can't be found, that difference of that extra workload.
so I think what we were doing was trying to average out her hours based on cause her hours also fluctuate. So the challenge really, again, is that we don't have a crystal ball to know. It's been a relatively slow year compared to some of the other years. It's picking up a little bit now. So there's some weeks where she's not putting in a lot of hours and she's not billing the town, but we can't know for sure if she's gonna get swamped with stuff. So it's, again, it was based on her hourly rate, based on how much she's doing a week, and then we added a bit of what she anticipates over the course of the year she would be doing based on her ebbs and flows. But this has been relatively slow. If it's a slow year again, we'll come under budget.
So I'm looking at trying to level budget this.
So to level budget it,
I mean,
I understand where you're coming from. So the only thing that we really have any control over is her how much work she does. And she certainly doesn't have to do all that filing paperwork. But the challenge becomes, if we get a lot of applicants coming in and there's a lot of work, we don't control, we can't say, we can't not review people's applications.
I'm looking at it from a standpoint right now, you got 9 months in, $4,000, $4,136 you utilize for your salary for your secretary. You got an $8,500 budget right there, so you're talking probably another $1,500 for the rest of the year for her salary.
Well, I mean, call a spade too, obviously, there's a pending case or application.
But it's coming up. I
Yeah,
understand that.
and that's,
Okay, so
that's work intensive.
So that's where I'm, there's obviously a thought in mind about the utilization of the professional services, okay?
Right.
So how much of that is, so you got 1,500, that's just straightforward if it's the average, workload. If there's an expanded workload, which you're anticipating, that,
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I would put it this way, we're sensitive to the budget, we're not trying. It's really, we also don't know how much paperwork would have to be done if it needs to be done. That's a big project. We're probably underfunded if that has to be all done next year.
Can we,
But we would be overfunded if we have a slow year and that the extra paperwork doesn't need to be done.
so my understanding from the paperwork with the building committee is basically, yeah, we have to find a location for it. Does it have to be all purged now? No.
It's,
Let me finish. Can it go into a storage building for,
It could, while they're working out, but I know we don't wanna just put all of the,
but it's an option
in there, it
too.
is an option,
May I add?
it's an option.
One of the big things about the purge is we want to eventually gather enough documents of the towns that can be purged by law. So we can get a company to come and do it
Right.
all at once. That way, we're not having to spend someone to sit there. for
Come and do it all at
Shred.
once,
Yeah.
to shred it?
The shredding, correct. Sorry to interrupt.
no, that's okay. So I think the challenge is, so like Elaine and I went in when we had to do all this documentation just for the MENA thing. And there was tons of like low hanging fruit that we purchased. We spent, I don't know, I think we both spent 16 hours each.
30 hours.
Yeah,
So you got a lot of fruit.
But we
Time.
put a dent in that, but the other situation is that there's stuff to purge, but there's also stuff that can't be purged.
I understand.
That if we're moving it all around, now would be like the best opportunity to finish that transition.
Right,
So the purging is part of it, but that's not all of it. And that's what we started paying I forget what we paid Barbara Savage, but it was,
Okay, so,
$17 an hour.
right,
yeah. I gotta ask these questions because
no, it's fair enough,
I'm
I get
trying
it.
to reduce the budget for the taxpayers.
No, I respect that, and
So if this falls through
yeah,
in March,
yeah.
the buildings, are you still gonna purge the information?
that is the ultimate goal, because that needs to be
You didn't
done
answer yes or no?
all next year. It doesn't have to be next year.
No, but you should start. I mean, you got the
Yes,
budget
yes,
for it.
yes, we would.
Okay.
If we have the budget for it, we're gonna do that, and that's the understanding that Maureen had as well, that this is part of the workload that she's gonna take on. We discussed this with.
Okay, I'm good with that then.
Yeah, so
Wait,
that would
has to
kind
be
of,
done.
that would kind of be my caveat too, regardless of the project, if we could still make it a goal of
Yeah,
purging.
no.
And if we
That's
had
what I
the-
wanna
Right,
see.
right, and, no, that's great.
Support the budget and even if it, I mean, even if it's, I mean, I don't like to state names because I think that we walk that fine line of, non-public type of discussion when we're talking about salaries and people, so I won't say names. But even if the individual that's currently getting paid doesn't have the time because she has other roles
Right.
in government here, if we have to get somebody else in to help, whatever, we wanna be able to have the money there, so.
Right,
Yes.
the money would still be there, right?
And we are sensitive to the budget, and like I said, a lot of these things, we come in under budget regularly, but we could get nailed with a spike for all it takes is one really complicated case, and then we're gonna come really close to maxing out any one of these.
And I don't wanna be a fearmonger or anything like that, but state legislation kinda dictates and changes on a daily basis, and that may change the type of and how many applicants we see for land use.
Yes, there
That's
should,
how that-
yes, there can be all
In other words,
kinds
it's class 6 roads, et cetera, and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I wasn't gonna say it out loud, but thank you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and there are gonna be situations where the other thing that the planning board does is the steep slopes and wetlands. So if there are gonna be a lot of those applications coming up, then that's gonna put a higher workload on us. And it also means that some of the professional services, it's gonna be the same thing. We're gonna have to get like if things are delineated, we need to hire a professional. It needs to be
Which were
stamped.
reimbursed though.
Sometimes, but not always. The town can't, there's certain things the town's expected to be able to do, and you can't just bill the applicant. There are other things that are highly technical that the town can't be expected to do, and then we can do that.
Right,
Okay. Alright,
I'm good with it.
you
I'm
good?
good, I'm good.
Make a motion that we approve planning board 4191-01, the amount of $19,981.
I'll second.
Discussions? None? All in favor?
Alright,
Aye.
And like I said, we strive to come in under budget, so.
thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Is Susan Slack here? I guess not.
Susan's not here yet, no.
So, she's not here. That's the last two, right?
She would be the
Believe
last
so.
two
I
on that.
I don't wanna speak for her, but I was present because I am the selectmen's representative and these
Okay.
numbers are what we agreed to, so.
What's the total? She didn't,
$680 on the 419902,
you already did it?
yeah, I did. And 1200,
So no change?
That's correct.
no change on either.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I was in the same meeting, so.
So you were in a, okay.
Yeah, he's on the boards
Right.
as well, so.
So I make a motion, we approve 41, Heritage Commission,
Motion,
4199-01 in the amount of $1,200.
Second.
Discussions? All in favor?
Alright,
Make a motion that we approve 4191-02 Historical Commission in the amount of $680.
second.
Discussions? All in favor?
Alright,
We did town forester.
yeah,
yeah, we did that one.
Alright. That wasn't hard.
No, see that, just painless.
It's about 2 cents increase in town tax. Alright, capital improvement plan, Grace Fuller, you are up.
Right, I'm just sending Susan a note that she doesn't have to show up.
thank
Good
you.
idea.
I'll make her
yes.
show up anyhow.
Oh, no, that's me.
There, done.
Okay.
So, gosh, where to start? First of all, I think you have a copy of it. I want to add an addendum on the last page that I didn't print. That Scott nicely put together on town stats. Some of these are probably familiar to you anyway. And then, oh, there, look at that. I
You
think that's my
didn't,
copy.
you didn't
but
use the
that's
school
all
one?
What's that?
You didn't use the school?
The school one's new.
It's already in here.
Yeah, but the do evaluation. Never mind, I'll talk to you later about it.
So, what I thought I'd do is just go over what the report is and spend some, I don't know how much detail we wanna go into, with this. So, the capital improvements program is something the town had voted on, that we wanted to have this on a regular basis to help provide information to the budget committee and to the selectmen to help make decisions. Approved in 2000, so wow, 25 years ago.
5 years ago.
25 years ago, yes. And so the beginning of the report, if you didn't have a chance to read it, just talks about the background of it, the RSAs that it's based on, and also then how we evaluate projects, whether they're urgent, necessary, desirable, preferable, premature, or inconsistent with what the goals of the town are, community development goals and so forth. So that is at the very beginning of the report, and then we have a lot of, which I think are really important numbers, which I think would be very beneficial for a lot of our citizens to understand, for example, on our population increases. If you look at on page 8, the way the chart goes is kind of flatlined for quite a while. And then starting in 2019, I mean, it just really pushes up. And so I think numbers like this, if the population understood that, well, COVID too, but besides COVID, we had a large increase of population that moved into town. And I think if our citizens understood that, they might understand why we also have increases in taxes and so forth too, because we need to provide more services. Effingham overall has a greater change in our immediate vicinity in Carroll County with the growth in population. We're at 5.8, the next closest is 5.7 in Wakefield. So it's very consistently growing, which of course also impacts our school population. It's one thing to have an over 55 community, but we don't have necessarily an over 55 community. So we have, well, generally speaking. But that really impacts also what we have for our school district expenditures. And so pages 11 and 12 show the average daily enrollment that we have in our school district, and also specifically in the elementary school. I think it's really important to note that because it shows the trend that we're going to be having over the next 6 years for students. And that has increased dramatically. And you may even have later numbers, but these were the latest that we had, so great. Did it go down? Yeah, I didn't think so, but I figured I'd ask. Because we have had some fluctuation, but it's, it really shows a lot about why we have these expenditures, because we do have the people and the students in town. And of course, then there's the county expenditures. So I think that gives a good background on what our population is. It's sort of the basis for a lot of the things that go on in town as well. When you get to page 15, we listed there all of the capital reserve and the town-funded trust funds and the balance as of the end of August, and what we had for appropriations there. So that's just kind of a level setting so that people understand what we have in these funds or had in these funds, because I know you've also been having expenditures, as you mentioned earlier today. So we have that. And then we go in, starting on page 16, we start on the capital projects and the purchases. So I think we had a really good committee this year with involvement from people. And I have everybody listed at the beginning of the report. Elaine, the missing Susan Slack, Chuck, Scott, and Chris Garcia were all on that. And it was a really nice mixture of backgrounds for analyzing the different things that we had. We also had the police and fire chief each come in and give their recommendations as well. So we start out with always that hot topic, which is road reconstruction. We used a format that we had used the previous 2 times we've done the CIP, which is an evaluation that was developed by the UNH. I don't have the department name right, but they developed this road assessment grid that's used by towns for really looking at the roads, and you get into the minutia of it. The details of that are on the back, so you can look at the various roads, and it's in the appendix. It has the categories that we researched, or that we reviewed, and then how we categorize them. When we did this, we broke into 2 different groups, and then the 2 groups came together and compared the results, and we were pretty consistently the same on how we analyzed them. So overall, we had recommendations. So we have recommendations, and it's up to, of course, the Board of Selectmen to decide how they want to do this. But the priorities that we had were Champion Hill. We thought that was an urgent, highest priority. Part of it's, of course, the safety issues and the liability concerns with the way that road is, particularly with the boulders on the curve there.
So Champion Hill, when would you recommend that? I think you stated next year for that?
Well, we listed them, but it's not, so there's 6 of them that we have as fairly high priority. So what Leo's referring to is in the back, we
Right.
have a proposed planned capital expenditures. And we listed each road across the top. That's on page 29 in the back. But we list Champion Hill as highest priority. School Street also is a very high priority. There's some, well, that's a difficult road, and I understand some of the issues, the construction issues with School Street.
Just
but
keep
it's
in mind, we
also-
got Pine River to finish next year.
Pardon me?
We have Pine River to finish next year.
Okay, well, these are our priorities here that we recommend for the roads that aren't being worked on. Pine River, we didn't even assess knowing that that was being done, so that one we thought was under construction,
Partial.
under control. So we had School Street, particularly with School Street, one of the issues I wanna just call out is the guardrail at the culvert, which is damaged, which is, an issue. It has bent I-beams and broken guardrails on the side, where this is used for people getting to the municipal building and the school. This particularly was a high priority based on the liability there. Understanding that there's a lot of issues with the concrete bed that's underlaid under there, so it's not like you can just grind it up and so forth, but I leave that to the experts on how to handle that. But that was one of our high priorities. Drake and Jones Road, we assessed those together, putting those as a high priority, not the highest, but a high priority, rating them as necessary, because this is the detour from Champion Hill Road to go around, so you can't do one without the other.
How many miles is that?
I don't know, but.
How many miles
in
is
the
what?
appendix.
Those 2 roads.
Drake
Jones
and,
and Drake, I think it was
Um,
2
It's it should be roughly 1.5.
I have it on my
Just under
paperwork, but I don't
1.5,
have it with me.
should be 1.238.
I think it gives you length of feet in miles
I
Yeah.
don't, yeah,
in the first column.
Oh, yeah, so Elaine just pointed out, it has the length in feet, road length, in the second column, when you go to appendix C, the paved road assessment. So you could take Drake and
Jones,
Jones.
4,000,
What page?
Well, Drake is on page 33, they're in alphabetical order.
and Jones is on 35. So 4,000,
1074 and,
8,800 basically.
yeah, 47,
About and a half.
so. And that one is, that's a heavily trafficked one. Some of the areas aren't as bad as others, as you'll read through here. In some places, there was very little alligator cracking, and other places, there was more towards the medium end.
Rutting and some of that.
Oh, yeah, definitely the rutting with the heavy trucks on there. So that one. The fourth one, that we had rated on here as,
One observation.
sorry.
So
thanks.
one of the things we kind of observed on a number of the roads, wherever
some of our new roads, Elm Street, Green Mountain, where there's a corner and there's no gravel, where it's been pushed away on the side.
Shoulders.
It's all
Yeah.
beginning, shoulder, it's all
Yeah.
cracking. So one of the things we could do to help in a maintenance format is to look at least in the corners of some of these roads, being able to go in and make sure annual gravel is put in there to help keep it built up so that the heavy trucks aren't knocking the edges off.
So,
Good point.
because you just brought that up, I'm gonna talk to you about, what we discussed at our last work session when it comes to the budget numbers, cause we were working on the road budget, is the materials budget not decreasing that, actually increasing that for that very reason. And it's not necessarily, you can't just put gravel there, cause a lot of times what happens in those corners, that gravel that gets pushed away from the edge of the pavement, it's not gone, it's out there.
It's pushed.
Yeah,
So what you do is you wind up with two ditches, and you don't want two ditches, cause then the water can't get away from the pavement. So a lot of times, what it requires is ditching by pulling that material back towards the pavement, compacting it and laying it back out and putting the slope away from the pavement. You don't really need to add material,
Well, in
you
what
just
we were
need to
looking at,
put the
right,
material
Chris?
back.
And what we were looking at is really not having to do a large chunk of the road.
Yeah.
If you really worked on those corner areas.
Yep.
And you got them back into shape, it would help maintain the road a little longer.
except for the fallen one, which would be High Watch, which was in much worse condition than I had been up there in a while, very poor condition. Well, we rated it as poor condition, I don't wanna say very poor. That one, there's a lot of, as you know, sectional damage. There's some sections where it's, you're just kind of making your way across it. And there's very little edging or ditching on that. And there's a lot of rutting present on there. That one was a higher priority due to the daily traffic usage on that road. I mean, having a major business there, and then there's another business there as well. The two business, well, we had three businesses.
I watch.
You have to walk in there.
You look at the,
Logging operations, which of course caused some.
when you did the roads, did you look at the culverts and all that stuff, the culverts and that?
We did,
Some of them,
I know, there's, I watch,
yeah,
there's a
Yeah.
big one on that.
some expensive ones there.
yes, yeah, there are. And then leading off of that is Winter Road. And that also is in poor condition. I mean, that's a fairly short one anyway, kind of a cut-through road. There's a very deep drop-off on the downhill side with edge cracking. And we thought with the traffic there and winter, that was a high priority for that. Again, with the businesses on that road and the high traffic. The last one that we wanted to highlight was Corner Road. Corner Road is just like a long driveway, in one sense, and that was actually one of the recommendations that the committee came up with. I mean, that has a lot of high volume traffic. It connects with the other paved roads there, so we couldn't just say, well, let's make this gravel because it's connecting right into the other roads. One of the recommendations was maybe just getting a driveway paving vendor for that, unless you could combine it with something else that you're doing in town, for somebody to come out for that short distance, might not be worth their while. But we put that on a high priority list. So those were the 6 that we had listed for high priorities. And yeah, like you said, the funding is.
And the corner road, of course, that people cut through there from Townhouse to do a straight shot to the transfer station.
That one
They
does.
don't have to make that corner and then another one with a
Yes,
trailer.
yeah, exactly, out on 153. I think previously there was funding of $250,000 a year, we recommended going up to at least $350 annually for road construction. It doesn't cover everything, I mean, that's by no means does, but that's what we put in as something to aim for. We don't get quotes, but we based it on what had been done before.
So can I, you stated that Champion Hill and School Street are the highest priority?
That's how we had them
And
listed,
then the rest of them are all high priority,
yes,
so,
And then everything else is just to follow,
Yeah.
all the others that were not listed in that grouping.
right. but they are listed in the back, so when you go to the appendix, if you look on appendix, I think it's C.
I think so.
Yep. On the column, it's in red. I put the priorities in red, so we have, and again,
One last
just,
You got the color, we don't,
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have a color printer.
yeah. No, we're saving money.
okay. Well, I get a highlighter for you, so then if you do the
I'm good.
column under the priority there,
I'm good.
2000, it's the second one over. We also listed what was there for the 2021 priority, simply because it's a good way to compare, you know, has the road maintained its status or deteriorated anymore? I don't think there are any that improved, unless you've done work on them. Just saying. So that does have the ratings there. So you can go through and look at that. For the bridge and culverts, we did not necessarily review all of the culverts, but we did take the information from the DOT assessment that's done. Most of them were done in 2023. And so on page 20, it has the assessments there. So I'll just take, for example, the first one, Bailey Road culvert. No current action, you know, that culvert was engineered and replaced just a couple of years ago, so that one's all set. But I also put the link in there, so if you wanted to go to the DOT report, inspection report, you can reach that easily enough. Most of these have no current condition. However, like you said, Leo, the culverts that are on High Watch Road, we don't have that listed separately.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Too small. Well, we're big.
I mean, for DOT, but yes,
Yeah.
but we didn't list them separately either. The next two sections are under public safety. And actually, if you had it, police is in blue and fire department is in red, just so you know. But anyway,
Colorblind right
color
now.
coded.
Colorblind.
So anyway, we met to figure out what are the capital improvements that need to be done, and of course, most of it comes down to the vehicles. I mean, that's where a lot of the biggest costs are, needless to say. We updated with the latest cruiser lease in there, so did a reprint and updated that. This information, and the information is, I had like about 67,000. I wasn't sure of the exact number that you had in there. So we have the three cars that are listed, car 1, 2, and 3. What model they are, the miles or hours that are on it, and what the recommended replacement miles or years are on it, what the reliability is, what the condition is, and what the recommendation is for replacement year, and the expected costs. And of course, a lot of these, we're doing these in today's dollars, so just keep that in mind. We might say it's $65,000, that's this year. In 5 years, yeah, I don't know. Yes, even next year, exactly. So we did have that budget in here, based on what we spoke of with the chief. The recommendation was to have a replacement this year, and then in 2028 and in 2030, based on a 6-year replacement schedule. Of course, that may vary based on what's going on for mileage and the condition of it and so forth, but that's what was on here. So if you refer back to the appendix in the back, Appendix A, it would be listed under whichever year we anticipate you might want to replace that. The other part, then under the police equipment and purchase or replacement, we had the computer system. We did not put anything in there for the computer system because we understand that's going to be rolled up or considered being rolled up on the municipal computer cost line item. But we wanted to highlight that here because that was considered. Bulletproof vests, vehicle camera and body cameras, canine equipment. The one thing that is a little bit different here, you know, with the vest and the camera, we recommended increasing the expendable trust fund by $1,000 to be able to cover that when those materials are needed. One recommendation we have is for the canine and equipment is to consider establishing a canine expendable trust fund as a separate line item so that it's annually funded, so it's not just grouped in. Now, the nice thing is, certainly the chief has been very good at being able to get donations and grants for that. So if we fund it, that's great, but if we get a grant or donation, then that's super. We don't need to necessarily maybe add any more to the trust fund, but we have the money there if we need it. If we don't have any grants or donations coming in, then we have a fund available there. So that's what we had with the police department. Fire department had more zeros after their numbers for some reason, I don't know why. Fire trucks cost a lot more. I thought the valuable thing about this, Chief, was going through and really getting a good inventory of what we actually have, and what the condition is. Now, you may or may not realize, the chief had recommended he's going to be renaming the vehicles. So these are the new names as the vehicles, are going to be called going forward. So that's what we have listed on the left-hand side of the column.
It's the first time we see it.
There you go. This is late breaking news. I think this was a very good practice. We went through this a couple of times, refining it, making sure we had the correct numbers in here, looking at alternatives. I can spend time talking about it, but I have to say, I think the grid, the inventory that we show here really explains it. Really provides the information, and then the details are down below. One of the ones that might be, may or may not be aware of, that the chief had, and I'm gonna rely upon you too, chief, to help explain this if need be. For in 2027 is to remount engine 3 and replace forestry 5. So remounting engine 3's body on a new heavy-duty chassis for approximately $150,000, and then take that existing chassis and use that to replace forestry 5's chassis. So utilizing all the parts basically, just kind of reorganizing it in a way that makes sense for the vehicles and how we need to use those. How'd I do, being non-technical?
Got it.
Just don't
We'll
ask
talk,
me to hear
we'll talk.
anything.
The truck numbers go with the new plate numbers, by the way.
We'll discuss later.
Yeah, so going down through that, we have, so starting off, we have a replacement of the ambulance in 2026, and I think part of that goes to what you were talking about earlier with the new, possible reimbursement contract with Action. But with the ambulance being a more critical part of our response to the citizens in town, and being in poor condition, we consider that a very important piece of equipment to replace. We also had, of course, the remounting of engine 3 and forestry 5, replacing car 1 in 2028, and then refurbishing engine 4 in 2030, just as we're going through now with whatever the engine is, and so. The one formerly known as, or yeah, okay. Yeah, tanker 2. So, and then the summary is down below, what our recommendations are there, and the approximate costs. Also with that, we have radios, kind of essential in this line of work. Both the portable radios and the mobile radios as well, which need to be replaced. And we considered using sort of a cascading replacement. So replacing 4 portable radios and 1 mobile radio each year, so that basically you get them all replaced and just kind of keep going along with that. That would come from the equipment ETF and hopefully grants, if there's anything available there. The next really critical part are the air packs. So currently, the fire department has 14 air packs, 28 bottles, so for refills, and 1 rapid intervention air pack. I mean, these are absolutely essential, need to be replaced every 10 years. They're expensive. The total estimated cost is about $100,000.
Wow.
So with this, we recommended, just as we did with the police dog, having a separate new ETF just for this, so it doesn't get mingled in with the other equipment, because this is such an essential thing. I mean, not that new, whatever, boots, hoses, whatever are not essential, but I mean, this is a life safety issue. So we recommend having a separate ETF to that to make sure that it's funded appropriately, to cover the cost there. Those are 2 really big ones, and I'm going along here, but are there any questions? Just, it makes for fine reading. Yeah, I know, that's what it is. The next one is the Historic Town Hall Library. A lot of this is information on the grants that have been received and the hours that people have donated for that. There is a lot of work going on this year. The construction of the 2 bathrooms are being redone. We do have one available.
Still my thunder.
Oh, sorry. All right, so there's stuff happening. Is that what I'm supposed to say? Okay. Chuck wants to say something on that afterwards, so he'll give you the update. Our recommendation is to, the town has done an annual funding to the trust fund for that, and to fund that for $15,000. Am I allowed to say anything else? No, okay.
So my question to you is, how come you didn't have the municipal buildings on this CIP report? This is just,
Right, you asked
this
us,
is
you
just
asked
the
us
library.
not to do those.
You
asked
at the
us-
first meeting, you specifically told
well, I
us.
was, yeah, there's no
We don't
selectman,
do anything.
there's no selectman representative to the board.
No, there
Yeah, there
isn't.
wasn't, so,
No, there's.
so my question,
Leo, you basically in that meeting said you wanted to take charge of it and you would let the CIP.
and I sent an
know your
email
intention.
basically saying, basically, that's the responsible selectmen for whatever departments they're involved with will answer the questions. That's why I responded back to you.
I don't remember.
I'd like to see that
but-
email.
But that's okay, so that was the understanding from the meeting that you would come to, and then I never had any response to the emails, follow-up emails that I sent out. So that's why none of the other buildings were done, because you had said the building committee was taking care of all of those. Same thing with the transfer station and I forget what the other one was, that was done, so. So no, that's why we didn't include those in here, and I think that we have a note in here that explains that.
But I think one of the opportunities we have when you get done with all the research you're doing on the buildings for next March, we can pull those notes together and basically get a draft ready to go that for next year's report.
What I would have liked to see the page on something like that, basically stating that, yeah, we're in the process of working on the municipal building, but not just 3 pages of town hall, library. You know, we have additional municipal buildings within town.
Oh, we did, I have a note at the very beginning that says that, so that they weren't on there, but that's okay. So on page 16, there's a couple of paragraphs that explain that. And I didn't put in blank pages as a placeholder, that just didn't seem like that was the best way to do it. So then we came up, so the page 28 has the recommendations, this pulls from each of the other categories, it just puts it all together on one page as far as the funding goes per year. And that's backed up by the table that's on the following page for Appendix A. So that has the trust fund balances, the recommended appropriations, and then the expenditures. So let me just explain this a little bit, because it takes a little minute maybe to get your mind around it. It took me a little bit to get my mind around it. So let's just use, for example, the cruiser replacement. So we recommend that, and these numbers may be off now with the.
These are what are gonna happen this year.
Yeah, 2025 is what would happen this year.
Right.
So we have a capital reserve balance on the police vehicle for replacement of $10,300. Our recommended appropriation is $15,000, so you add the 2 of those together, and that carries over to the next year for $25,300. So you take that balance plus the appropriation and pull it forward. So that's how those numbers flow through there, just so you understand that. That one may have changed now with some of the recent expenditures that
I
are,
agree.
so. And altogether, it comes down to what our recommended amount is for appropriations over the next 5 years. B is what we currently, Appendix B is what we have currently for appropriations in the capital reserve and trust fund and how they break down per category. And then the paved road assessment. And that is it. So hopefully this is useful. I think the verbiage is useful. I think the most useful part is Appendix A, where you can look at what's going out over the next 5 years. And look at where the expenditures are, what we need to do, what the purchases are, planned purchase dates, and figure out what we need to do to have the funds in place for when those purchases take place. So, any questions on that? Follow-up questions?
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. And I think we're gonna be posting this on the website, and I think the planning board, yeah, we talked about having a little blurb so that people realize that we have this information available, so.
Semantics is probably gonna seem absolutely ridiculous to most people, but before this goes down on record and it's finalized, can you get my spelling of my last name correct on the first page, so. Thank you.
Sorry. As many times as we looked at
Kinda
that.
stood out at
I
me
am glad-
naturally, whatever, as it would anybody.
I'm sorry you never
but-
got past page 2. I'm sorry.
All
Thank
the
you, Chris.
proofreading that took place, and there was a lot of proofreading.
Sorry, Chris.
No worries, no worries.
Nobody picked up on it, sorry.
Just,
You finally got Scott's name right.
Yeah, and Rosemary, look at that, we had no problem with yours.
Leo, may I ask one quick question?
Please, go ahead.
Grace, will you be sending, including the other
Yes,
thing you
I
have
will, I'll
all
attach
together?
it in the same document.
Thank you, I just wanted to
I'll
make
put it in
sure.
one PDF for you,
Perfect, I
after I
appreciate that.
correct.
The only, bear with me for a second to get
Sure,
back.
go ahead.
So, on page 21, the police department plans to replace, so I know that you got the updated information from Tyler, the police chief, in reference to the lease agreement. So, with that, we're not replacing a car in 26. We'll be doing it now, we're doing it now, so. I didn't know if
Oh,
that
is
got
it a-
changed. I know if that line, it says, I need summary, it says, the police department plans to replace car 2017 Ford Explorer with high maintenance and safety issues in 26.
It ended up there.
Oh, we have
In the
2025
grid,
here in
it
the
came up
grid.
25.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, you're correct.
I just didn't know if
Thank you.
that
No, I'll
change
correct
got
that.
made because you got, whether you got the new
I
information.
You gotta
didn't see
fix the
that,
spelling, you may as well add that.
yeah,
Right.
thank you. And is it a 2026 cruiser?
It is,
It is, okay,
Yep.
got that part right.
and it's a, well, you probably, you got the rest of the information on it, right? Police agreement, and it's a Chevy.
Yeah.
Chevy
Yes.
All
Light,
that,
yeah,
yeah, okay.
versus a Ford.
Oh, it's a
What to
Chevy?
look out for.
Didn't have that.
Didn't have that, but that's,
You don't have the information on the cruiser?
No, we don't.
no,
It's a 2026 Chevy Tahoe.
okay.
So you can transition all to Chevys now?
So the Fords got away from the hybrids, but as far as so
There we go, thank you.
if you look at they all have issues, right? I don't care what manufacturer you have, they all have issues across the board.
Except for
Yeah.
Dodge.
I mean, Toyotas right now, Toyotas have brand new cars that have recalls. Dodge pickup trucks, 1500 and 2500 series, currently have 21 recalls that are slated right now, just for the record, so. But they all have issues, but as far as like the police cruisers go, the Ford Explorers, the Tahoes, the ground clearance, given
Yeah.
our geographics here, you know,
Yeah.
the,
Class six
for the
road.
Tahoe as opposed to the Explorers, ground clearance is much
Yeah.
better. And the cost difference is difference of roughly $5,000.
The Tahoe being 5,000 more.
Correct.
Yeah,
So we didn't ask for that. The capital reserves.
well, yeah, no, I know, as you're saying that, that's exactly what I
But
was,
with the lease agreement as opposed to a purchase,
Yeah.
that changes everything as well.
yeah, it
Because
does if
your
you do that
commitment-
going forward.
Yeah, your commitment drops at
Yeah.
least that $5,000 in difference.
Right.
Which is actually an interesting way, so if we projected that out, like you said, Chris, because we had recommended that before this had come in, that previously the funding had been 15,000 a year, to bump that up to 25,000 annually. But maybe now with the leasing, I'm not sure, have to
20,000.
take a look at that,
20,000.
split the difference.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
that was the savings, and anytime you can go on a municipal vehicle like this, and a fleet vehicle,
yeah,
leasing is always the way to go.
After 3 years,
It's the
it's hard.
cheapest, and you get,
and you have it.
you're not owning the car for as long,
Yeah,
with issues, so,
Well, you own it after 3 years.
Yeah, for 3 years,
with issues, so,
Yeah.
and still having a payment, so.
right.
thanks. Okay,
Okay,
Library trustees,
Thank you.
It should be right in the business folder.
this one?
nice, yeah.
Yep, if you open, I put sticky
Behind
notes on
that.
everything.
Oh, did you say library trustee?
That's some appointments.
Oh,
Thing, any other questions?
No,
no,
any
I just,
questions?
Any questions from the audience?
on budgetary, on the CIP stuff, you mean?
Yes,
Yes.
Great,
thank you very much.
thank you, and obviously we'll
I was
review
gonna
it.
go over these. Do
Did
you need
Chuck
these
have
too?
this one too?
Oh, yeah, I know.
I have two of
Voucher.
them, I see three. Do you have three? Okay.
Just, real quick, Susan, did you get a text message that said that we already approved the budget for
Yeah, I
the,
was almost here, so,
okay,
and I was on the CIP committee, so
okay,
show up for both things.
Yeah, man, cute.
That's
That's Mr. Chris.
Steve has a question.
This will be for the
Party.
outdoor event
Steve
application.
has a question.
Yes, Steve?
I'm not gonna stay for it.
Well, then,
Read my terrors.
you're saying that there'll be a copy of this on the
Okay.
library website of all these papers?
No, I wouldn't say the
Not the
library, we said with the town hall.
Town.
You talking about this, yeah.
CIP, yeah.
It'll be on the town website,
Town website doesn't go on the library.
and I'm assuming eventually there'll be copies of that, or, you know, copies to review or to take or whatever, right?
I would
Hard
say so, yeah.
So-
It won't be pretty colorful, but it'll be
Right,
black and white.
Just wanna be able to go
Yep.
over it.
Yep,
And I think at the planning board meeting, we also discussed trying to have something for town meeting, cause I mean, for me, I'm not
Yeah, that's
involved in that, but as a taxpayer, I'd like to just have a general overall gist, and then I think it'll help a lot of people when we're voting on budgets, to kind of be like, oh wow, you know, we could easily spend, even if we choose not to, $400,000 on roads, like they're big ticket items here, so that it gives the voter an opportunity to kind of say, well, you know, where are we gonna balance these things out, and then so as the planning board, we discussed hopefully encouraging or helping the capital improvement have something at town meeting so that everybody can just see it.
Anytime they see taxes raised, they don't care.
It's just to tell you why, you know, it's
I know.
whatever, or
An
like,
explanation.
yeah, exactly, and they can vote accordingly.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him
Yeah.
jump.
Anyway,
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
go ahead.
thank you. Alright, moving on. Appointment for library trustees, we have the board, Effingham Library Board of Trustees request for appointment of alternates to the board. One is Brian
Ebner,
Ebner, Nutter Road, and Joe Duchesne, Hunter's Bridge Road. Motion to, do the motion, just
yeah,
yeah,
make a motion to approve these two candidates for alternates to the board for our library.
I'll second.
All in favor?
hi,
Aye.
Discussions?
No,
do you want any discussion?
I'm glad you're able to get alternates.
Yes.
Couple of requests for outdoor events. One we have from Effingham Public Library, I would assume Christmas event, outdoor tent, parking lot. The date will be, do you have a date on this? Oh, November 29th, after Thanksgiving.
10 to 4, if I'm correct.
Yeah, 10 to 4, I believe. Right?
Yes, 10 to 4. So, this is on a Saturday, I assume?
I'd spoken about this before.
Yeah, I thought we had already approved this.
Come back.
There was,
Yeah.
I thought
Well,
we
it wasn't
approved it, too.
approved, it was come back once you have more, once you have it finalized.
I remember talking
No,
about pallets and everything,
did.
and I thought we,
Yeah, we talked about it by then.
Yeah,
never heard anything, so I kinda figured it did, so.
Yeah, I thought so.
but
So, make a motion to approve the outdoor event for the library on November 29th, 2025, on Saturday.
Okay,
Second. Second,
And then there's one to go along with that before you look at the other one that I have, which,
It's the one I just handed.
yeah,
this one.
it's on the same day. So the idea is to have a continuum of events throughout the town, starting with the one that's in your hands right now, which is a parade along School Street
Oh, cool.
where Santa, we wanna have a number of floats, we're going to invite, if you approve this, we're going to start, we've already talked with the school, talking to the PTO on Wednesday. There's quite a bit of excitement with people who wanna have floats and families. It can even be a pickup truck that's decorated.
And freedom.
And we're going to be doing, so the library is going to be replicating the float that we won the blue ribbon in the Freedom Parade with this year, bridging our communities, so, with the Freedom Library, so, anyway. In the parade, we're going to be staging that on Ironworks Road, coming across down School Street, ending up at the school. And then Santa will be at the end of the parade in the fire truck, and then we'll go through town to the library where we'll be having this other event.
So you're aware of this in, JT
Yes,
Well,
or Tyler or
It's actually
something?
absolutely.
Tyler, I
This
meant.
is
I would like to think so.
I think I was kind of the instigator of
I
this
think
whole
somebody's
thing,
run it by.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just wondering, cause we haven't been, you haven't rode it by us yet, so,
We've talked about a parade
did you?
a few times.
I don't remember, anyway.
Time for a shameless plug, our antique fire truck drove itself around the parking lot yesterday, so it is running under its own power.
I have a concern. I have a serious
The
concern.
driver?
You just said it drove itself around. I'm not really sure I wanna put people on that.
It's a Tesla.
Tyler drove it across the parking lot, so I don't know if that's better or worse, but.
that's good.
We're gonna be putting something out on our Facebook page, looking for some donations to help with the restoration process or the project as a whole. We do have it up and running under its own power, but it does not have any brakes at the moment. It needs complete rewiring from bumper to bumper, mice and everything have eaten it. So, we're working on that. Tyler's been working almost every day there, trying to get the thing up and ready to go. Our goal is to have it in this parade carrying Santa. So that's our end goal, but we're gonna put something out on our Facebook page. The nonprofit fire association will be looking for donations,
And
so.
that may help, so just going along with that, so we're having the events at the library, so we have the parade, we have Santa coming, we have somebody who's gonna be taking photos of kids, or anybody with Santa, along with vendors at the library. There's going to be a Christmas carol sing at the Baptist Church, and then the fire department has a money, I don't wanna say money-making opportunity, but yeah, some money, a way to help fund the fire truck there by having a spaghetti dinner at the fire department. And then going further down the road to South Effingham at 6:30 for the concert there and the Christmas tree lighting. So it's going to be a whole continuum of events.
I make a motion, we approve the parade for the 29th of November, for the 29th of November as well.
I
We
second.
don't know that.
All in favor?
Aye.
With some guys that specialize in that, like as far as the paint and stuff like that, they specialize in the antique vehicles and making them, true to their age. 'Cause we don't want a big shiny paint job, you know what I mean, we want it to look like an old fire truck, so.
And I think we're putting some jars in different places.
Preservation.
Yeah, absolutely, great idea,
Um,
great idea,
good,
yes.
okay, moving on, Chuck, you had something with HGH?
Quickly, Jason has started the baptism foundation. He's basically been doing after hours and weekends, doing demo and doing building at the same time. He's already spoken to Jeremy about the electrical work, so when needed, Jeremy will come in. I guess it's only a few hours worth of running wires, so it's not a big job there. The plumbing side of it is going to be, it's a fairly small job, maybe a day, maybe a day and a half. Cause it's basically just taking out old fixtures, putting in the new fixtures and running about 40 feet of PEX pipe. So Lyle Thurston was the one that did the plumbing. Go ahead. Good question?
Who's doing the plumbing?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
That's where I'm going with this whole thing.
Okay, so you may wanna, so they're kind of transitioning away from PEX
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
we can.
for
Numerous
reasons.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
for reasons, so, sorry, go ahead.
So 40 feet of line, water line, so we can specify that. Lyle Thurston was the one that did that work back in 91. I had reached out to Scott, his son. Scott came over and took a look at it, said, yep, short job, no problem. But I'm retiring this summer and I can't get a hold of him for the last week and a half, he's in the wind.
Send it over.
I reached out to
New Hampshire.
Chris Garcia, and Chris gave me a referral to a Matt White of Riverwood Services, as somebody that's a plumber. Do we have a town plumber?
We do.
Good.
Yep.
I'll get-
It's advanced plumbing, and I got a message about, or an email
You have
about
it?
the propane.
Yep,
So he's gonna be in town this week working on the plumbing here, so
Perfect.
I'm gonna give him that information
does he do
about,
gas too?
he does.
Oh, yes, okay,
So Todd, his name is Todd, and it's advanced plumbing and heating, so.
okay, good,
And like I said, he'll be here this week, so, in town, so.
okay.
And I was supposed to announce that during the selectmen's report, and I forgot, so, thank you.
Would you
Chris.
give him my number and
Yeah.
tell him?
PK furnace.
Yeah,
Perfect. Oh, great, that makes my day. The second, third floor window restoration should be completed in about 2 weeks. It's like 1 day's worth of work left, and that's done. The cloverleaf window guy, has postponed twice already, July, August, and now he's into October.
Did we pay him?
No, we haven't paid anything to
Okay.
Steve yet. So he's fabricating the windows, from basically the old windows that were there, plus some stuff that Leo and he had worked on, so it's gonna be a real close representation of what had been there years ago. And then, Jason and I started talking this weekend about redoing the RFP for next year. He suggested a different format than the one that we've used in the past, so I'm starting to work on that to have him kind of bless it, and then I'll bring it to the board, hopefully the latter part of October. And the last item I have is a question, it's a status question. Where are we with patching the potholes in the dangerous sections of the parking lot?
so we're looking at a hot patch now, so, I got through it, I know you didn't see me, but I met several different vendors out there, I can show you, so we had one vendor that did he did satellite, so you can do an overview, and it actually,
The roofing guys did that too.
so it did an estimation, a line definition, that's not the right word, of
Total
the
square
parking
footage.
lot
Square footage.
with the square footage and everything. So I can't get anybody to, I mean, we can get people to commit to it, but the library is $50,000, the fire station is $28,000. Unless it's tied on to a road project. So right now, we're looking at hot patch. I'm working on that this week, is so hot patches instead of cold patch, just that one patch. It's a hot patch, so they come in, the contractor, the vendor that the town's currently using, had used the last couple of years, they're coming to the county complex, cause they have a contract obligation over there. So I'm working on, hey, you're pretty close, so come do a hot patch. I've already talked to Jeff Perry, and he's gonna come and look at that this week, so we were shooting for Thursday.
And just kind of the top area where people walk.
Yeah, cause I didn't want it, cause I know we talked about putting, the tailings in, at least, and packing that.
Yeah.
Kevin and I talked about that, it's like, hey, it's getting towards winter, obviously the plow contractor talked about it at station number 1, Lord's Hill Fire Station, and I'm like, it's just not gonna hold up the way we want with plowing, so I think hot patch would be the way to go. We do have some money, we don't have $50,000, we don't have
We
$75,000,
don't have that.
but we have hot patch, so, you get like a pothole and you put cold patch in it.
And I think
This is a bigger hole, and it's hot top.
And if it's basically where the people are walking, not worried about what's down near the road, but just kind of where they're walking coming into the building,
Yeah.
that's the most important.
And we actually still, and we talked about this a little bit in the work session again when it came to the budget, is still drawing that line and still putting that into green space at the library and making that parking lot smaller.
Yep.
And along with the hot patch. And then there's less to have to worry about plowing and, rolling up and destroying, damaging. And we have an idea of how and who and can do that, so we
Is
did
it
talk about
worth
that.
looking at some Jersey barriers on the edge of that opening for this winter, so we don't have to plow the whole big wide distance?
No,
Okay,
No.
it would actually,
make it harder.
it would make it harder, but it would actually it would actually be cheaper to peel, have somebody peel it up.
Okay,
And put material in there, loam material, and, and identify it as, this is lawn now, this is green space, this is no longer parking lot, it would be cheaper to do that. Jersey Borough is pretty expensive now, so. Yeah.
Thank you.
But it is, you know, my goal is obviously with the foot traffic at the library. But definitely before, you know, we start getting cold and start getting in the winter, asphalt plants are closed.
If we can get it done before the street dance.
But yeah,
really good.
so, well, that's, you know, and that was the other thing too, I didn't wanna make that commitment, but like I said, Jeff, hopefully Thursday. So we did talk to him last week and we earmarked Thursday to go look at it, so.
Oh, good.
And hopefully while they're here, like I said, they were gonna be in the area, hopefully that's close enough that they can skip over, so.
Thank you.
You good?
Thank you.
What's Grace have, is that what you have?
Is that the outdoor event, I thought we approved that,
The street dance?
yes.
We did a
That was-
raffle for Effingham,
Right.
Friends.
Oh, the
of
raffle.
Effingham,
Right.
Yes.
And that was
Oh.
the Friends of the Library, this is the library, I mean,
Okay, so this is on the same, the 18th, right?
Yep.
So, make a motion to approve an outdoor event application for the public library on Saturday, October 18th, street dance, time wise,
2 to 5.
2 to 5,
2 to 5.
A second.
live band. Lots
Like-
of dancing.
You got Aerosmith or something?
Yeah, Aerosmith.
You got them,
Sure.
coming in wheelchairs.
You second,
I
you second.
seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Out of all of the bands, Aerosmith. What is it?
Yeah.
I could've went,
I mean, he didn't say Meatloaf, so I guess it's.
I could've went to Who or ones
Or
and
Ozzy.
Yeah.
He'll be there in the fire truck to drive it.
Alright,
That's funny.
good.
Fog hat,
Now that's a band I haven't heard for a while.
What again?
fog hat.
Never heard of it. So, Ospey Dam agreement,
So if you look in the business, there is a document dated March 16th, 1991. It's a copy, probably is all the way in the back, Leo. Yep.
oh yeah,
So I had, one of the selectmen come to me last week. One of the selectmen of Freedom, sorry, I should say
You
that.
should specify.
And they are looking to see it, they want to get, you know,
They wanna give us their half? No.
no. They want to, they're curious if Effingham will go back into this agreement with them. When I had the conversation with him, I said that I'd have to bring it up to the selectmen. I did talk to, the town administrator there this morning. You know, trying to understand a little bit more and making sure I, you know, don't mix my words up. So Effingham would pay a portion of their valuation. As you know, our valuation had just gone up as well.
so,
They did not give me an amount, so I was hoping someone may be familiar with this that might be able to shed a little bit of light. But if you have questions, I can bring that back to the town of Freedom to ask.
yeah, I'm looking at the prices from back in 91, you said?
91.
Yeah, 91, I mean, we were allowing almost $5,000 back in 91. What is the total expense for maintaining this dam? We know that,
I do not know.
State of New Hampshire, what dam, are we talking about this dam?
Ossipee Dam.
that state of New Hampshire takes care of it.
Yeah,
I am unaware of this dam in all honesty.
That was,
That was replaced by the state. I thought that was controlled by the state.
it is controlled by the state and they
Yeah, they
control
control
it.
it. We have no
I
say
mean,
in
we
that.
don't even, the dam authority used to pull the boards on the spillway. We don't even do that anymore. They do that right from,
yeah.
they do that right, yes, right from Concord. When the water comes up high, whatever, which they don't have to worry about right now, they
That's what I was,
hit
yeah.
valves and open it up, so.
Didn't they just redid it a couple years ago?
Yeah, it's just, oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
It was a big project.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
yeah, we have to definitely,
no, we don't wanna throw money away here.
Research that one.
yeah.
So do we have questions that you want me to reach
Yeah,
back
what are they
out to
talking
them?
about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
You could always refund them the dollar and give them that.
Yeah. Alright. Announcements?
I have none.
Okay, great, public comments. Linda,
I knew it.
State your name,
Yes, Linda Edwards, 1197 Province Lake Road in Effingham.
thank you.
any comments?
Uh, The roof, I have not heard anything about it recently. Could I get an update, please?
You were here.
No,
Yeah, we got a bid.
Yeah, you were here.
that's all I heard was a bid. I didn't hear if this is something that is gonna happen, or we're gonna put it off, or,
Go ahead.
and I did miss,
Yeah, it needs to be replaced. And basically, I think the decision was, we're gonna wait, probably put it in with the new building, if it's
Okay.
approved. If not, then we'll have to revisit it next year and probably just go ahead and do it.
but you're not gonna let it go like too many years, right?
No,
No,
They
no,
can't.
no,
Yeah.
no, we're just gonna give it 1 year and see what happens, but we wanted to,
They can't.
I think it was what, how much was it, 30,000?
yeah.
Yeah,
Something like 30,000 to replace it,
Okay,
right.
to redo it.
okay. My next question was, are you gonna replace the toilets in these bathrooms?
Why they work?
They work for us, but I don't call that very sanitary. And I hate going in there and going to the bathroom.
Because of the stains in the bowls?
Yes,
That's not sanitary?
no. They shouldn't be there.
Oh, the iron,
It's the iron, you're not.
It's the iron.
And if we're gonna have new bathrooms out there, most of the people that work here are gonna be in here using the bathroom.
Hopefully they don't, not to sound like a wise guy, but hopefully they're not playing in the water in there.
But come on.
They're bowls, it's not sanitary, it's a toilet.
Put them in there. You
Well,
know,
it's-
you won't break the bank.
Every little bit breaks the bank, am I
Well,
correct?
I think
mean, we're
that
talking
little
about
bit
replacing
needs
the
to be
roof, so.
done. That's how I feel.
We replace it if it, yeah, I mean, for me, it still works, so I don't
well,
see.
Yeah.
listen, I mean, just to replace the toilet's not gonna make a difference because the iron inside the water, that's what's causing the stains.
Isn't there anything you can do about that?
Filtration system. all
Hopefully
that.
this week. So we had the water tested, the water results came in, and the plumber, as we was just saying, will be here this week to address our needs for,
Hot water tank, the whole works.
you know, the multiple hot water tanks that we have, the filtration system, in order to make that water, and it's never gonna be drinkable. The only way to make it drinkable, it's gonna cost the town thousands of dollars to set it up and thousands of dollars a year to maintain it.
Okay, but you will look at these toilets and think about them?
Yep.
So you're telling me the new toilets we're gonna put out there are gonna look the same in what, 6 months or a year?
No,
Why not?
because before that gets built, if we use the same well, it'll have a filter on it. That never had a filter on it.
Can we
The
do
proper filter.
something now? So that this doesn't happen when we get new ones?
Hopefully they're gonna work on that this week. The plumber will be here this week working. He has the
Okay.
water test. He has a simple
Okay.
filtration that is different between the smell and the iron staining and drinking. I thought I just,
You said it right.
okay, sorry, thought I answered that.
So we'll get some
Sorry.
more answers this week with the plumber and we'll have that discussion with him as far as how to filter the system better, with, you know, what's the cost, what's different options we have to go forward. So, that's all we can do right now.
Okay,
But, I mean, to do a total filtration system, we're talking
It's a lot of money.
5,000.
We looked at it for the library, cause the library is high arsenic, that's why we can't drink that water. And it was about 8,500 to put the system in,
Yeah,
Costs about $3,000 to $4,000 a year
about
to
a
just to
make.
maintain
a
it.
grand and a half or so to maintain it.
I'll Google a few things, see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have some answers.
Maybe what we can put in there that, for cleaner or something that may help,
Cleaner,
cleaner.
oh, into the toilet bowl itself?
Yes,
Oh.
something,
They come pretty clean when they're clean, but they rapidly get bad, that's the problem. They get cleaned every 2 weeks,
Finishes.
but
they get clean what,
every 2 weeks.
really? How can you do that, Al? Really?
If I can make a comment,
Hold on, Steve, please. So, You all set?
Yeah, I'm all set.
Go ahead, quick.
Couple of years ago, we changed over the people who were gonna be doing the cleaning. They went through and I don't know if it was just to show how good they were, but they made all the toilet bowls and everything else spotless. And since then, it's reverted back to the way they are now. So yeah, it can be done, but it has to be done that way every couple of weeks. And it's not being done like that.
It would,
I think it's getting a swish and see you later,
Yeah,
and I think you need a little more than that.
so without getting into all the personnel things, so for a while, we had somebody that was here on a daily basis taking upon themselves to scrub those toilets with the cleaner and stuff like that for nothing. So that's why it wasn't just a swoosh, it was the same schedule with the cleaners. It didn't matter who had the job that was working for the town. We had an employee that was here every single day that was doing it, and it became too much. So,
I'm just addressing the fact that it can be done.
yeah, it can be done if somebody wants to volunteer their time
Because of it.
to clean the toilet every single day.
Alright, so we'll look at it and basically we'll come back, have a discussion on it and everything else. We'll take a note on it. Okay. Blair?
I'm gonna move so I can see you, cause I can't see you. Oh no, I'm scratching the new floor,
Oh my god,
that my taxes paid for.
everybody's taxes.
In terms of the toilet, since we're still on it, they make a pumice stone, cause I have that on my.
You just state your name, please,
Oh, I'm
for the
so
record,
sorry.
so,
Blair Foltz, 984 Province Lake Road, Effingham, New Hampshire.
thank you.
Sorry. Pumice works really well and it lasts a long time, cause I have staining on my bowl too. I don't have to do it every 2 weeks, but you get the pumice in there, but it's scrubbing, so. And then I want to address the fire thing. Fundraising idea that I saw in Maine this summer is they had to go over a bridge, like Hunter's Bridge, and they had the fire department out there with their fire truck, and they had boots. And you could or could not donate, and they had kids doing it, and I think they made a lot of money.
We actually went out with a boot on Elm Street a couple of times.
Okay,
So, yeah,
How did it work, John?
I think
Pretty
that's,
good.
That's
Couple
good,
hours of work, made a few $100, so.
that's good.
and then this is not, I mean, these are things from the meeting. So the cell tower, I heard it's not happening, but coming before the zoning board again, and again, I'm just gonna advocate, we have all this town land, why don't we put a cell tower on our own land so we can make money instead of an individual? So that's my little plug for the cell tower thing.
No, we're putting it all out for sale right now, so.
I know, but you could,
so,
you could sell it to a cell tower.
Put it back in taxpayers.
so, obviously, the land that the town owns is flat and it's low and.
You don't have any on Green Mountain? Once upon a time you did.
We have the town forest, which is adjacent to the woodland cemetery, but
That's it,
being
yeah.
that close to the mountain, it wouldn't be beneficial to put a cell tower there, no cell tower company would do that.
Town can't do that and make money,
Correct.
Oh, really?
Right.
Okay, I didn't know.
They even went up on my
Yeah.
property and they said it wasn't, even on my property, it wasn't efficient for a cell tower.
I actually had a guy look at it on Leo's property.
Just putting it out there. So I came in last week when you guys were meeting, and
Oh, yeah.
you sent me off to talk to Rebecca, cause I saw that Mina had started building, so I'm here to find out a little bit more about who's in charge of overseeing all the hard work that the planning board did to put stipulations in place, all the work that the zoning board did to put stipulations in place. And I'm actually, I came in here much clearer, but having sat with Bill Bartlett and then listened to everyone talking about parades and this and that, he had to leave. He has serious PTSD from Vietnam. He has Agent Orange poisoning from Vietnam, and he was going to talk, but he couldn't stay. He's always armed, and he's like, I can't stay, I'm getting upset. No one cares about his drinking water, and he called me, he goes, I don't know what to do now, I can't even smell fumes, and I'm like, well, it's legally going through, and I will only advocate to make sure that everything that was required will take place. Because I left this office last week and went to talk to Rebecca I learned something that was very upsetting. And I fear that you guys have been manipulated or are bullied or are threatened by the applicant. She explained to me that they came to her in February asking for a building application. And they filled it out, but they didn't fill it out correctly. They had the wrong date, they had previous date. There were many things, and this is the letter that she shared with me that she sent to the attorney that outlines all the reasons why she wouldn't sign that permit. She then explained to me that on July 1st, they met with your board in private session and pretty much told you to sign the building application. And then you went to her office and you said, Rebecca, you will sign this building permit now.
She did not say that.
No,
She did not tell you that.
and we did send it to the lawyer, and the lawyer,
She told me that, what can I say, she's not here now.
Yeah, we're not,
we're not gonna argue. She didn't say that. And we did send it to the, yes, she did send it to the lawyer, the lawyer came back and a bunch of, what was it?
Your name, Leo, is on the building
Yes.
application, and her name is on the permit, because you asked her to sign it, she would not have, she did not wanna sign it.
Cause the lawyer approved all,
Go
go ahead.
the Board of Selectmen have the authority to
Yes.
sign the building permit.
I
The
understand.
Board of Selectmen signed that. I'm not getting into the personnel, but I'm gonna tell you that she did not tell you that. We forced her and went to her office.
She didn't say you forced her. She
That's what you said.
I didn't
That's what
say
you
force.
said.
I said she went to, you
And you
went to
forced her.
office,
You said,
and-
you forced her.
You said you will sign this now.
No, I never said that. No,
So that's what I was.
I requested her to sign it because it was all approved by the lawyers. The lawyer,
And this is, so fine, you answered my question, but what I came in for last week was to find out who is overseeing this very detailed project. For example, the bioretention basin has specific guidelines for how it is to be built according to New Hampshire DES. Who is going to oversee that? Because this company is not reputable, and this drinking water is 5 feet to the aquifer. And there are many people that abut it. And Bill Bardowitz and Tammy McPherson are less than 300 feet away. They're like 290 and 310 feet away from this. So they are going to be impacted if the bioretention basin isn't built correctly. So my question is, I was told by Rebecca, she doesn't enforce what the planning board put out, or the zoning board. It's up to a code enforcement officer, of which she told me she is not. She told me that that's not her job. And so I'm like, well, whose job is it? She said, go to the selectmen and ask them whose job it is. So I'm just asking you, whose job is it? And you don't care, you care more about the parade, and these people are.
I wouldn't don't bring the parade in there. I mean, we're talking about one subject and stay with the subject, please.
So answer my question, please.
I wasn't, George, can you help me out here on as far as the
I'm
planning
not talking
board?
to George, I'm talking to
I'm talking to
No,
George.
Sure, I mean, I think the planning board did, so the ZBA approved the use. The planning board approved the site based on exactly what you said, those plans. The planning board does not have any enforcement authority.
Right.
So we can't do that.
Is that state mandated then?
Because
That
you
comes
have
from the
96
state, right?
things
Yes.
that are
Yeah,
listed.
so we, and it's in.
It's a
in
state
our-
basically that
well,
will.
Yeah, and it's in our ordinance, we don't have enforcement.
Right.
So we can't do any of that. What we did require though, to Blair's point, is very specific requirements that the applicant has to meet. I think perhaps what the select board could do is put the onus on the applicant to demonstrate that they've met the requirements.
Before they have to get all of that.
Right, and
do
you
all
could
of that
probably
stuff.
do that in stages so that they have to demonstrate through engineers and engineering that they have, it's very specific, so there are elevations, there's the
Mhm.
depth, there's the location. And I guess my suggestion would be, I don't know, you'd have to run it by the attorney and things like that, but I would think that the applicant is obligated to meet those standards. It's not just that they did them and then they can go on and pretend it never happened. And I think the selectmen have the power to either prevent them or at least have them hold it accountable. And if they demonstrate to you that they've met those requirements, then you can continue, you may wanna phase it or something.
They're all conditions,
Example of a
they're all
question.
conditions preceding the approval, just like any condition that's given. And then we have to make sure that they follow through with those. And if it means having our independent engineer review the work, that has to be approved by New Hampshire DES before they can operate.
Right, they have to meet state requirements still as well, and I guess actually they're conditions preceding, and they're, what are the ones that are, so the preceding.
Subsequent.
So the preceding ones are the ones that they had to meet before we could even approve it.
So it's wrong terminology on my
Yeah.
part, so it's
It's the whatever it is,
Subsequent.
yes, the subsequent.
subsequent.
And so the subsequent ones, the select board at this point, because you're the enforcers, can say you're not meeting the conditions anymore.
So are you out there right now? Because they're appearing to be beyond their property line right now, and they're appearing to be impacting the wetland, which is not on their property. So who's watching that? Just the people that abut it.
No. It doesn't matter what we say, you're going to say we're wrong, you're gonna say that we're not right.
No,
You're
I'm
going-
asking you who's.
You're gonna ask me all day long, Blair. You just made a statement before and you put words in our mouth and then tried to rescind that you even said it. You started right off by saying you were here last Tuesday
Was.
and we sent you all back. That is completely false. We never spoke to you. We were in a work session.
Oh, I'm sorry, Caitlin was the
But-
one who suggested.
But you made the statement in front of God and everybody that's watching, the people here. So you make these statements and then try to rescind and pull back. So no matter what we tell you, it's not gonna be true, it's not gonna be fact, and it's not gonna happen. So make a statement and then move on.
Okay, hold on, wait a minute.
And advocate for
Blair.
my friend.
Blair, hold up. Do not make accusations unless you know for sure somebody's encroaching on somebody else's
I
property.
asked if you had looked at it.
No, you made an assumption that they're already on the
I
property.
said it appears to me, and is anyone looking at that? I'm not a surveyor.
Linda,
Yeah, when I was on the planning board, I thought that, correct me if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
wrong.
go ahead.
That they were supposed to test their well there every,
Quarter.
something like
It was
that,
in-
yes.
it's in the-
And when they got the test back, they were supposed to give it to the board, if that's any help.
That's one out of 96.
Yeah, I know, but it's
Stipulations,
at least this
My
one.
question is simply, who's in charge of looking at this before it gets contaminated?
So, I would also say if an abutter has an issue with, they feel that somebody is working on their property or is somehow,
that's a
not,
flag.
then it's also up to the abutter to get somebody in there to determine if their property's being infringed.
I would assume the boundary lines are already dictated and they're already
Yeah,
know
I'm
where
just,
they are.
I'm just saying, if
This
you're,
is the front property line, which is DOT. It looks like it's their property line, but it's not. You know that, because all the maps and stuff.
Has a question.
JT, please.
Are the stipulations that were put in place as far as what they're building above state recommendations or state standards? Or
Yes.
are they in line with?
Yes,
Okay,
they're above them.
above and beyond, yes.
could you share a copy of
No,
that
one of them
document
is
with me,
not
please?
above and beyond. One of them is less than.
It's up, so, to the Supreme Court, basically, everything's approved, so we're gonna go with the state.
The state is going to have to come out before they can put fuel in those tanks
Right.
and permit and license them anyway.
Right.
So if that person
So,
that
That's
comes
just
out is
one of
aware-
many steps, yeah.
yes,
If
so,
that person is
so,
aware of the stipulations, that can be part of that process.
So why,
Hold on, Susan?
Getting back to what Chris had said, was it Chris or Leo had said that, the selectmen could consult with its independent engineer.
Mhm.
That is the answer. And the rest of this doesn't have to happen,
Correct,
this argument.
correct.
That is the answer. That's the responsibility that you have to make sure the applicant is doing what they're supposed to do.
So we should work with the planning board on that, since, I
Well,
mean, George spent
Planning board
hours.
is done.
going
So it's not part of the
Yeah,
plan.
we can't do that anymore, but what might be a good idea, this is just a suggestion, is to reach out to North Point, who did the original study, right, and who's familiar with it. And that may also be the most cost-effective way of doing it, because they have all the background information. And they might be able to do a site inspection, or you might be able to make some sort of arrangement with them that they come in at certain points and make a determination. I mean,
You got that? Your point?
No.
Yes, I know.
Can you get Cory, she's got her.
I know, I
she
see
doesn't have
her,
her hand
yeah,
up.
I just finishing
I
up.
don't know if you could see it
Good, yeah.
past George, where's.
Go ahead, say your name, please, sorry.
Corey Lane,
Corey.
and I live in Porter, but I'm here on behalf of Bill. But I just wanna say that I feel that it's pretty visible right now, and if the planning board went to this site, from the road, not accessing the property from Levitt Road, you can see that it appears that Mina has encroached approximately 10 to 13 feet onto the DOT property. Mr. Bull might remember the site plan that was approved. There's a 25-foot wetland buffer, and that spillway was at the very edge. They were touching each other. Now they're all the way over that buffer and down into the flat part of the basin. I don't believe they put fill in the wetland yet, but the fill has reached the flat part of the basin, and anybody that can look at a map can see that that is well be over the property line. Your wetlands ordinance, if you'll just bear with me a sec, says upon any well-founded information, I'm not saying mine is well-founded, I'm asking you to seek the answer, that this article, the wetland, Article 16 wetlands, is being violated, the selectmen or their appointed agent shall notify in writing the owner or tenant of the property on which a violation is alleged to occur with a copy of such notification to the planning board, Concom, if appropriate, New Hampshire Wetlands, Army Corps, blah. Now, the interesting thing is here, it's the DOT property, and in the findings of fact that the planning board put out, which are, there's a lot of them. A lot of them are useless little statements, but it is number 58 says there's no new easements or covenants on to allow to access the DOT property. And it's also a violation of the wetlands ordinance to dump this stormwater that's not treated to remove gasoline from it before entering that buffer. You're not allowed to do that, you can read it right in your ordinance. That wetland down there is an access point to the aquifer. And it directly goes straight into the aquifer, putting the abutters, people north, Mr. Bartowitz and Ms. McPherson at great risk. And I think it's really important to get an independent engineer out there to determine if that boundary's been crossed. What they're doing is not what the planning board approved, and they are,
So at this point right now, it's all assumptions.
well, I understand what you're saying, and as I said, I
Just saying.
asked you to,
Yes, and we had the discussion, and we're gonna look into
will you
it.
vote to do that?
We don't have to vote,
We'll have to vote.
Will you do that?
no.
Not vote, will you get?
Will you
Oh,
get the
yeah.
engineer?
Yeah, we're gonna look into it.
As quickly as possible, because the work is progressing quickly. DOT should be notified, they've got plenty of engineers to come out and look at their basin to see what's happening. Could you notify DOT as well?
Yes.
Thank you very much, I appreciate your time.
so just as an FYI, at this stage, the planning board we don't have the right to go on the property.
Yeah, no, I get
Yes.
that, and you've done a lot of work on it, so I,
Okay, you guys have
commend you for the work that you did on it.
Okay, any other
I just
questions?
have one more comment on the letter that Rebecca shared with me. Because one of the big sticking points is they wouldn't check the box that said they were a new gas station. And they are a new gas station because when it was closed in 2015, the gas station was extinguished. And it's important to know that the planning board spent their entire, however many years it was, working on documenting this is a new gas station and that's why all this stuff is in place. And so,
All I could say is basically we ran across our lawyer, what she was requesting, and the lawyer disagreed with her. Basically said, everything was, let's move forward with it, so that's why I signed off. Okay, so this has been hashed for 2 years, I don't know how far you wanna go with this, I mean, it's been hashed out. I'm sorry, Blair, I mean,
it's not about me, that's what's so.
well, it is about you to a certain,
It's not.
well,
I live in a place where I'm not over the aquifer, I've got racks and I've got the dump, I don't live over the aquifer, I have no aquifer where I am, none.
okay.
Put the gas station next to me, you know? I mean.
So just, I do have to state from the onset, and you can go back to the minutes and review this. When Rebecca first, when the town of Effingham first received the application, I, myself, brought it to the board and said that my recommendation was that we have anything put to the lawyer first and get recommendation and advice from council because of the fact it was finally the application and a hot, very, very, very hot button issue. Our council, town council, in conjunction with the two other councils for the zoning board and the planning board, all gave us a recommendation, and that's what you see right there in front of you.
Oh, this thing is not from your attorney.
No, not that.
I know, the application, their approved building permit was on advice from council.
Okay. And my point was, in our little town, I am just commenting that I hope you weren't pressured into doing that. from
What's the pressure?
A corporation.
No, I mean, I'm from a business standpoint, and I understand exactly, and this has been hashed out for 2 years, and a couple $100,000 of,
It's been 2 years since you've been here.
yeah.
Involved with it.
3, yeah, and a couple,
$1 million already.
yeah,
There's another point that I understand that you guys don't like the fact that it was approved, but when something's approved, the applicant then has rights, they've been granted things, you can't just arbitrarily go back and say no. If
Oh,
they,
I agree with you.
if they broke if they're not meeting the requirements that they signed up to, that's one thing. But you can't just also say, well, we think this, or if there's no proof, and it would probably behoove the town to have somebody come in there and look at it.
That's all I'm asking, because I would never have brought this up if I hadn't come last week and not been able to chat with you, so that's.
well, that's a different
Just
subject.
for the record, okay, we meet in a selectmen's meeting for the public every other week.
Yeah, I came the wrong.
Last Tuesday was a work
I
session.
get that, no, I'm not complaining, I just get it.
Well, one could argue that definitely sounds like a
I'm
complaint.
totally not complaining, but.
I think one could easily argue that definitely sounds like a complaint, Blair. When you said I was here last week and I couldn't talk,
No.
that's a complaint. So, it's not a public meeting. This is a public meeting.
I just don't understand why you're so upset. That's
No,
all.
George, you did what you need to do, and I'm not.
No, I wasn't prepared to discuss, I was just doing our budget.
I know it's not your job,
No.
I just wanted to know whose job it was, that's all.
Alright, moving forward, are we all done with this subject?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Any other additional public comment? Seeing none? We have a
We have none on.
RSA, have non-public to go into an RSA 90,
Do you have a copy of that?
It's right there, Will. It's all written out right underneath the non-public, it says.
I don't like being called a liar, just for the record.
non-public, RSA 91-A, colon 3, comma 2, little a.
Yeah, we stopped.
Second.
All in favor?
Siemens, aye.
That's
Listen back on.
the well we done, they
They
put
filled it
the,
in, they drove way down through the club.
geez.
Make